In 2026, the United States turns 250 years old. Just take that in for a minute. 250 years old. That's not just a milestone, it's actually a continuing challenge. Because what we're really talking about is a 250-year experiment, an experiment in freedom, in self governance, in economic possibility. An idea bold enough to reject the original British monarchy, ambitious enough to trust ordinary people with extraordinary responsibility, and fragile enough that it's had to be refreshed and renewed in every single generation since, including ours. America was never meant to be static. It was designed to be continuously built. And at 250, the question isn't any longer what America was. The question is, what are we choosing to build next? One of the things I think we get wrong sometimes is how we think about this country. We talk about America like it's an inheritance, something finished, something secured, something handed down to us, that we're allowed to just live in it, to take advantage of it for our own benefit. But that framing is incomplete because an inheritance can be spent or protected or even taken for granted. But an experiment is different. An experiment has to be continued. The founders didn't deliver a finished nation. They gave us a framework, principles and constraints and freedoms. And then they passed something forward, whether we realized it or not. It's responsibility. Now you build it, they said. Every generation since has answered that call in its own way. Some expanded opportunity, some preserved it. Some even neglected it. But none of them were exempt from it, and neither are we. I think of one of the founders captured the spirit perfectly. Thomas Jefferson said, "I like the dreams of the future better than the history of the past." That's the mindset of a builder, not just protecting what was, but advancing what could be. I believe we're living through a subtle shift right now, a shift from a culture of builders to a culture of consumers. We consume opportunity, we consume systems, we consume the outcomes that were created by people who came before us. But more often than not, I think, we're contributing significantly less than we're actually capable of. My view here isn't political, it's human. Because if you look at every strong era in American history, there's a pattern. People chose to build more than they consumed. They built businesses, communities, institutions, even our culture. And in doing that, they created momentum that extended far beyond themselves and into our future. At the center of this historic pattern is a group that rarely gets the spotlight, the builders, us. Not the commentators, not the critics, the builders. The ones who create something where nothing existed before. The ones who take on risk without applause. The ones who invest in developing people without any guarantees. The ones who commit to outcomes that extend far beyond their own personal gain. Today, we call these people entrepreneurs, operators, industry leaders. Those people are us. In a deep sense, we builders are more than that. We're stewards of the American experiment itself. Because every well-built business, every high-performing team, every customer served with excellence isn't about transactions. It's about long-term production, service, and making a meaningful difference. Every example strengthens our system, our America. And over time, those contributions compound into something far bigger than any one of us. We're building legacies. So let's talk about legacy, because I think that's where a lot of people get it wrong. We tend to think of legacy as something that shows up at the end. It doesn't. Legacy is built in real time, over time. It's built by how you lead, how you invest, how you develop people, and what you choose to build that can outlast you. Jobs don't outlast people, systems do. Personalities fade, but cultures endure. Transactions disappear, but businesses built on purpose and character and discipline, they continue. That's the dividing line between just operating and building, between short-term success and long-term significance. At 250 years, America is not guaranteed anything. We're not guaranteed prosperity or leadership or even unity, which we're feeling today. And those outcomes won't be determined primarily by headlines or policy debates or what happens in Washington, D.C. They'll be determined by something much quieter, millions of daily decisions made by people like you and me. Will we consume or will we build? Will we extract value or create it? Will we think in quarters or in decades. Because the future of this experiment will be shaped quietly by the cumulative effect of all of our choices. And this is where I'm reminded of something Thomas Paine wrote during the Revolution. He said, "We have it in our power to begin the world over again." Think about that. Not just to preserve it, not just to maintain it, but to begin again, to build again, to advance again. Now, here's the part that I think matters most. The highest level of participation in this experiment is not survival, not even success. It's legacy building. Legacy builders think differently. We operate with a longer horizon. We invest in people as a strategic priority. We build systems that scale beyond ourselves. We align purpose, culture, and execution into something durable over time. We're not chasing an exit. We're building something worthy of continuation. And whether we realize it or not, we're building something much bigger than a business. We're reinforcing the foundation of our country itself. This series, America at 250, is not about history alone. It's a call to taking responsibility, because every single one of us is participating in this experiment right now. The only question is, how are you participating? So here's our challenge. It's simple, but it's not easy. Together, let's build something that matters, something that lasts. Let's build something that contributes more than it consumes. Because if enough people choose that path intentionally, consistently, over time, then the next chapter of this 250-year experiment won't just continue, it will advance. I'll see you next time.